This is your spoiler alert. Please be advised, major spoilers ahead. Again, this is your spoiler alert. Alright guys, happy whatever day this is. My name is Mike with Mike W Productions, and we are doing a deep dive into the Suicide Squad. Now, I know I did a Suicide Squad review before, and it was kind of just an overview, kind of whether or not it was good or bad, but this one is going to be mega spoiler. So, this is your spoiler alert. Alright, with that being said, guys, let's jump into the Suicide Squad. So, right off the bat, we have this zero exposition. We already know who the Suicide Squad is. We kind of jump right into the main story. Getting down to it, there's a lot of just kind of stuff going on, as I said before, but we land on a beach, and all hell breaks loose. Everyone starts dying. All of the characters that we established, we kind of build up and meet like the new characters, and a few of the other ones, Captain Boomerang and Harley Quinn being the main ones, and then Rick Flag being our hero normie, who's not super powered or super crazy or super villain at all. He's just some military guy. Okay, so we start off with introducing all of these characters, but not in the weird way. It's kind of like, oh yeah, this is the guy who does this, and this is the guy who does this, and we introduce some of the characters in a very more flowing way than we did in the last movie, in the first Suicide Squad. The mission is we have to go to this island to stop something from happening, go to this place to kill this thing, and to get rid of some information. That's all we really know, is that there's this thing that we have to kill, and information we have to destroy so no one can reproduce this thing. Okay. Right off the bat, we start off on the beach. Right after we introduce all of our new Suicide Squad team, we start off with on this beach. They land. It's pretty funny because they bring this like weasel thing. Harley Quinn pops in at the last second, and we get this narrative of what we're doing. They drop in. The weasel thing can't swim, so one of the team has to pull it ashore, and we think it's dead. And there's this traitor. One of the guys is a traitor, and he goes off and says, "Hey guys, we're over here," and they were waiting for them, and just kind of starts mowing down all these really new characters, and Harley Quinn and the Captain Boomerang and Rick Flag. They just start mowing them down with machine guns, and they try and fight them, and Captain Boomerang gets mowed over with a helicopter. This new lady, who's like some kind of alien thing or some big... She wears purple, she's orange, grabs a helicopter which lands on top of her, killing her, mowing over Captain Boomerang. Harley Quinn meets this guy with a staff. And I'm sorry, these are super obscure villains in the DC universe, in the comic books. If it wasn't in the cartoons when I was a kid, and it's not like the main five, I really don't know all of the nuanced villains and the newer villains and all these different people. I was never really big into like the side character villains in the DCU unless it was like the Penguin, Catwoman, Mr. Freeze, etc., etc. You know, those are more of the mainstay characters that I know of. These characters, I'm just like, I don't know if you're from The Flash, I don't know if you're from this thing or whatever. They do mention like Star City, which is, I believe, the Flash's area at some point, but I don't really know about these guys, and I'm definitely not really invested in them except for Harley Quinn, Rick Flag, and Captain Boomerang, which Captain Boomerang gets mowed over in like the first like 20 minutes of the movie. So just saying, I did tell you this is the spoiler alert one, so this is like the true spoilers, so that happens. Harley Quinn does survive. This guy that had the staff was like, I need you to, and then he dies. And so she's like, I need you to do what? I need you what? To talk to who? To do what? So she grabs onto he handed her this staff before, this like spear thing, or trident, or whatever they call it. It's not really trident, it's a spear. And so she holds on to it. She gets captured. Rick Flag is assumed dead, but he's not. He wakes up. He's just knocked out. And then, Captain Boomerang is just gone with the rest of them. And they leave the dog thing, well, it's like a weasel or something, on the beach. And that will be a callback way later in the end of the movie. So, so they are cannon fodder for the C team. Because, as I said in the last thing, there's really no A team in this video. So, Peacemaker and Deadshot's replacement, basically. I forget his name. Idris Elba, great character. John Cena, he's a good actor, but in this one, he's just...
he's an asshole.
Yeah, no. So, and then you have Rat Queen, Polka Dot Guy, and Shark King, or Polka Dot Man, and Shark King with that team. So that is the actual team. Everyone that you saw in that really random Super Flag thing where they're all walking together in the one shot, pretty much all of those people are dead besides Harley Quinn. So yeah, they were kind of not the Suicide Squad. This team is the Suicide Squad. So we do get little character backstories for most of them, but not like in the, oh hey, we're gonna stop for 5 minutes and tell you all about these characters like they did in the first one. It's basically, okay, he's some kind of son of a shark god. She is the daughter of the Rat King, who apparently died. And then Polka Dot Guy was an experiment at Star Labs, which is a callback to, I believe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it is the Flash's run place where they do experiments in Star City at Star Labs, which has to do with the Flash. So he was an experiment in that one, and then you have, I forget his real name, Idris Elba's character, who is basically new Deadshot. As we progress, the story just gets a little more asinine as we go along. So, Harley Quinn, of course, gets kidnapped by the bad guys. They move on to Rick Flag gets captured by this other group of people, or finds them and tells them that, hey, we're here to help you guys out. It's some group of you know, rebel people who are trying to get rid of this evil military that's taking over their country. And so John Cena and his group are supposed to, well, Peacemaker, if you want to be, you know, whatever, correct on that, Peacemaker and that team go in and find this group of people that they think are the bad guys, and so they just kill everybody, just one guy after another. And that's where we get that, as I told you before, brief graphic nudity. Yeah, it's just some guy's junk as he gets shot in the head, not a big deal. And then we kind of move on. They jump into this tent and see that Rick Flag is not dead. Oh, hey guys, we're not dead. Yeah, we're here to help you. And then she's like, yeah, we got, I'm surprised my guys didn't tell me you guys were here. Yeah, that's because we killed them all. Whoops. We thought they were the bad guys, but they were actually the good guys. Oh, good. Okay, well, now all my, basically, family are dead. Okay, so now we're gonna help you get rid of the bad guys and then go and do our mission. And by retroactively doing that, we're helping each other out. Okay, so that's cool. They try and save Harley Quinn. Of course, Harley Quinn is Harley Quinn. If you know anything about her, she's pretty smart. She's crazy now, but she's pretty smart because she took a little acid dip, but she's pretty smart. You know, so she handles her own and kills everybody, and it's kind of a weird trip because instead of blood, well, there is some blood, but instead of it being like actual blood, it turns into these like poofing, flower dusting things, and it was pretty interesting to see like how they made what she sees when she kills people is what I'm assuming James Gunn was going for. It's kind of like, it's not violent, it's flowers, like the whole time, and she's in this little like cartoon land while she's massacring all these soldiers and stuff, and she kills the dictator, and so the dictator is now dead because she has boyfriend issues, and anytime that she's learned mentally that anytime her boyfriends decide to be kind of weird, kill them and move on. So so now it's not the prince or king or whatever, the typical dictator. Now it's the military guy, and the military guy is quite worse than the actual dictator. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. Moving on from that, we have to kidnap this guy. They try and save Harley Quinn, of course, but she kind of ends up saving herself and saying, oh, I can go back in and we can do it. And it's like, that's a little, something earlier. He says a really funny one-liner, condescending or something. Really good one-liners throughout the whole thing. So the main mission is to go and kill this thing that's in this building, and then get rid of all of the evidence that it even existed, because we don't want anyone apparently to do anything. We do find out that the thing that we're supposed to be killing is a giant space starfish, basically. Yeah, it's basically a starfish. And it sends out these starfish that go on your face, kill you, and take over your body. So now we have space zombie people. There's a little video in there that explains like it came from space. We let it on board one of our spaceships, and like early 60s, 70s, back, like I think it was one of the Apollo like 10 or something like that, and it gets found, caged up, put in this big building there, and it's a big political whatnot, and we're there to kill it and destroy all the evidence of it and it's under American control, we find out. And then we get into a side battle with the soldiers of the military guy, and then the big starfish thing gets out of the building and starts taking over all of the people in the city. They are called off to leave, and then at some point Amanda Waller, who is one of the worst people in the world, gets knocked out by one of her own people. It's kind of interesting because, like, I like Viola Davis as an actor, but in this role, I love to hate her in this role, and that's, I think, the point of this, is that she's just a horrible person, just as bad as the bad guys that she's trying to control. And so she gets knocked out. The Suicide Squad decides to go back and help this city, even though most of them are dead. And they fight the big bad guy, and the literal big bad guy. This movie is nuts. Like, to be honest, it's crazy, pretty much from start to finish. There is a slight lull in the middle where you can, like, get up, go use the bathroom, come back, and not really miss anything beyond, like, a little bit of banter and character building and stuff. Other than that, like, we do find out, like, the Rat King is there, and he's played by, I believe, Taika Waititi. And he's like in a side story for the Rat Queen and how she got her powers, and we do have a side story of Idris Elba's character and how he got used to be a part of this team because his daughter stole something, and they, you know, stacked the deck on her case and made it where she could get like 10 years instead of like 3 months for stealing something. So Amanda Waller plays the system, and that's one of the reasons why she's just a horrible human being, because she uses things that she knows you want to protect to get you to manipulate you to do what she wants, and that's why she's a horrible person in this. But she's a great character, and the person who plays her very well. Other than that, like, they killed the big bad thing, and then it's kind of sad because it says at the end in one of its human forms, because that's how it's able to communicate, is I was happy just looking at the stars. Like, if you guys would have just left me alone, I would have been happy. And that's kind of sad because, like, yeah, he wanted revenge. That's why the Suicide Squad killed it, but it just, way back when, just wanted to be left alone. Kind of an interesting side plot to that. And of course, there's this little scene with Idris Elba's character and John Cena's character, where John Cena is trying to destroy this evidence that the Americans have basically held this thing in this, like, Cuban area for ever, doing experiments on it. Bad PR, so his Peacemaker's job is to destroy that bit of evidence, make sure that it never gets daylight. So there's a little fight, and there's a little infighting with that, and then, you know, stuff happens. But all in all, I mean, the story was good. The story was crazy, to be honest, but it made more sense than the first one. So James Gunn might make another one. I hope he does. He's definitely doing Guardians of the Galaxy number 3, and so hopefully that works out. But guys, that is my breakdown and review of the Suicide Squad for you guys. So hopefully you liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. That's okay. It lets me know what you guys like. If you want to see more, there is a thing that will pop up somewhere around here, and there's a little subscribe circle down here somewhere too. So with that being said, guys, thank you for coming in. Thank you for getting this far into the movie review, and I will see you later.